All right, so week 8 of the Canadian Football League 2026 play along. We're going to do all 4 games. I am using pen and paper football for my CFL play along. And ironically, the best game of the week is the first game of the week. It is the 6-0 Edmonton Elks against the 4-1 Saskatchewan Roughriders. This ought to be a doozy for CFL fans this week, and I envy those of you who get to watch this sucker live on TV or even sitting in the stands. This ought to be a doozy. I have no clue how Saskatchewan's actually faring. I haven't looked up standings at all. I just know that Edmonton a while back was 4-0 or something, and they happen to be 6-0 now in my league. So we roll for the scores per quarter for pen and paper football, and I just get the details right here. It's nice to wrap up my game working on creating that CCD fast action football engine and getting those games done. I can now kind of relax and get back into my playing. So I'll be doing some more racing with the original Racing Time. I'll be starting a new Grand Prix season with Racing Time Classic, and of course Gridiron Football, my league in that. It's going to be excellent. So lately I've been in the football mood and the racing mood, so that's what's been happening. I'm always in the football mood, so that's just the way it is. All right, Edmonton rolls first. Edmonton's going to get 15 plus 2. By the way, both these teams are tied with a plus 10% increase in scoring, so this ought to be it's going to be whoever shows up to play football. 15 plus 2, 17 touchdown. Touchdown is quarterback 1 yard run, or fullback 1 yard run. That would be that short yardage specialist that the Canadian teams bring in at the 1 yard line. Generally a backup quarterback or a tight end under center. Somebody, big guy, comes in and runs the ball for a yard. Here in traditional football, this would be the fullback from the 1. All right, here we go, Saskatchewan. So that would be again. I don't have the. Is it Crum? I can't remember where Crum plays, but Crum does some of that as well. Saskatchewan, what do? 22. They're going to score 13 points. They're going to get a field goal from Hell of 37, and then they're going to get a touchdown, 7-yard run by Ouellette, and then they're going to get another 58-yard field goal, and it is 13-7. And again, both these teams are fantastic, and it's 20 points scored in the first quarter. Second quarter, Edmonton shut out. Why are they shut out? Unbelievable punts. So they basically end up in 3 and longs, and they just punt the ball away. Saskatchewan with the lead is going to score another 6 points. So a touchdown with a missed PAT is a 27-yard pass to the halfback Ouellette. So Harris drops back and hits Ouellette in the flat, and he just races down the sidelines, getting into the end zone. Fantastic. Here we go. Halftime. Edmonton. 12 plus 2 is 14. Touchdown. Edmonton gets back on the board. A 19-yard pass to Rankin. Jeez, they're hitting the backs. All right, Saskatchewan, third quarter, 18 plus 2 is 20. They're going to score 10 more points. Saskatchewan bringing the 6-0 Edmonton Elks down to the planet Earth. It's going to be a field goal of 26, and then it's going to be a 56-yard bomb to the wide receiver, Keyshawn Johnson. Fourth quarter, we'll roll Saskatchewan first, give Edmonton a chance to come back. It's going to be 5. Shut out, son of a gun, Saskatchewan. How are they shut out? The running back, Ouellette, is hammered by the linebacker and a fumble loss, so that is why Saskatchewan failed to score in the fourth, as apparently on their most productive drive, there was a big hit on Ouellette, and he coughed it up. All right, Edmonton needs to roll a 20. That would let them score 13 points, and we'd have an interesting score here. They're going to get... I'm going to have to roll that over. It's literally in the hole. It's going to be 7 plus 2, 9. They're going to get a field goal, hoping they can come back, and they don't. 43 yards. Son of a gun. So 17 to 29, and Saskatchewan is 5-1, and Edmonton now 6-1. We have got a serious situation in the CFL with 2 teams at in the West at 1 loss. Unbelievable. Saskatchewan, I believe, I don't think they've played each other yet. I'd have to look at my schedule. They may have played each other already. And if they did, since they were undefeated, they would be even. So we'll see how it goes from here out. All right, the other team right now in my play-along that's 5-1 is Montreal. And they are, I think Montreal is going to be unable, I don't think anyone's going to beat Montreal in the championship. All right, now we've got Calgary, who's having a rough year. They're 1-5 against 2-4 Winnipeg. Plus 10% scoring chance for Calgary, plus 15% scoring chance for Winnipeg. So this should be, again, a fairly traditional CFL game with higher points. However, we'll see if Dickinson's Calgary Stampeders can get a second win on the year because they are hurting. Here we go. Calgary's going to score. 18 is going to be a touchdown. Calgary gets in the end zone, a 31-yard run. Mills, wow, 7. All right, Winnipeg, plus 3, 19, 20, 21. 19, 20, 21, 22, 13 points again. They're going to get a touchdown. Quarterback, 12-yard scramble. Caleros, the old man, scrambles into the end zone for a touchdown. And then I'm going to roll. If it's odd, they score another touchdown. It is. That's another touchdown, so they miss an extra point. This one, a 2-yard pass to Oliveria. So it's 13-7. Oliveria. Jeez, I don't know why I can never say that. All right, Calgary now chasing Winnipeg. 8 plus 2 is 10. They're going to get a field goal of 34 yards. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Caleros with a scramble on the last drive. He's going to get 14. That's a touchdown. And that's a 5-yard run by Oliveria. And it is 20-10 at halftime. All right, Calgary, can they do damage in the third? 16 plus 2 is 18. Touchdown for Calgary. 11-yard run for Mills. You can tell these are based on my Pro Football League. A lot of running backs involved in the production. So this is not ideal. This old deck, my old pen and paper deck, it's yellowed, falling apart. This old deck was literally built to give me more like 1970s football action where the backs catch passes and each back carries the ball pretty evenly. All right, Winnipeg. So it's going to give me a little skewed data. 5 plus 3 is 8. It's going to be shut out. You got to be kidding me. Calgary's going to shut them out. Why did Winnipeg fail to score? Punts. So basically, lots of 3-and-outs as they fail to put together decent combination of downs. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll. It is 17-20. Winnipeg's leading. So we're going to go ahead and roll Winnipeg here in the first. Winnipeg will make drama. Oh my God, they're shut out. Why? Sack by the DL. So we got a big sack by the star defensive lineman, and it led to a punt. And that pushed Winnipeg out of field goal range. That is why they do not score in the second half. Calgary can win this, folks, with a touchdown. They're going to get 8 plus 3 is a field goal. They're going to tie it on a 45-yard field goal. And we're going to have to play overtime. Let's roll to see who gets to go first for overtime. Actually, I think I cannot remember how I don't think I've ever had an overtime game I'm assuming both teams get the ball evenly. So let's go ahead and roll. Calgary gets the ball. Yep. So Calgary gets the ball. Here they go. Plus 2, 22. They can't score 10. They get their touchdown. Let's see. How did they score that touchdown in overtime? 13-yard pass to Mills. Let's see if they can stop Winnipeg. Winnipeg has been shut out in the second half. Let's see if they can shut Winnipeg down one more time. And 10, yep, that's going to be 7. So they're going to shut out. Let's see here. That's going to be 27-20. Calgary's going to win. They're 2-5, folks. Winnipeg falls to 2-5. The Blue Bombers, kind of a surprise this year. Not quite as good as I would expect. All right, we have the 1-5 Toronto Argonauts. Very rough year for them. Quarterback Miller. They've got Chad Kelly, Hicks, Coxey, Polk, Maitel, Kamen. This team is much better than 1-5, period. period. It's just that's how they happen to be. I projected them. I started the season, and they just haven't been able to get the numbers or the dice in their side. BC Lions, we are at BC Place for this with Pierce at coach, Rourke, Butler, Hatcher, Jackson, McInnes, Cynical. So let's see what happens. Toronto gets a plus 5% scoring. BC has plus 20%. So I don't think Toronto stands a chance in hell in this game. BC with plus 20%. Toronto Argonauts are going to score plus 190. They are going to get a field goal of 27 yards. BC, add 4 to this roll. It's going to be 8 plus 12. It's going to be a field goal. So right now it's a close game. 29-yard field goal. It's 3-3. Toronto, add 1. 12. It's 13. It's a touchdown with a missed extra point. 3-yard run for Hicks. 6 points. They missed the extra point. BC plus 4. 20. They're going to get 10 points. They're going to score a touchdown right here, and that's an 11-yard pass to Mayala, and then a field goal of 31 yards makes it 9-13 at halftime. And BC at 3-2, trying to extend their win percentage here with a victory over a rough Toronto team. All right, Chad Kelly goes to work. 13 plus 1, 14. He's going to get a touchdown. And it is a run by Chad Kelly. Son of a gun. Third quarter, Chad Kelly calls his own number. 18-22. It's going to be a 13-point quarter for BC. This game is over. First touchdown, quarterback dive. Rourke over the top for a touchdown. The second one is a 76-yard punt return for a touchdown. They missed the extra point. So BC is going to get a Berryhill punt return for a touchdown. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll BC for the fourth quarter, just for drama's sake. 20. Oh, Lord, no drama here. Forget it. 24. They're going to score 17 fourth quarter points. Touchdown 1 is a 42-yard run by Butler. An 18-yard pass to Hatcher. And then we're going to get our field goal of 40 yards by White. And BC scored 30 points in the second half, folks. Toronto has no defense to speak of. And they're going to get shut out. Why? It is a sack by the linebacker of BC. So Chad Kelly on a 3rd and short, trying to convert, gets hammered. Down he goes. They don't score in the fourth. My land. 16, we had 43-16. Toronto is 1-6. There is something wrong with that. BC is 4-2 as BC in front of hometown fans with Rourke, Butler, my favorite back in the league, Hatcher, Jackson, Mayala, McInnes, and Cynical, White, Berryhill. Berryhill had a punt return for a touchdown, and they put an absolute giant arse kicking on the Double Blues here at BC Place. All right, last but not least, the Hamilton Ticats, coached by Milanovic, Levi Bo, is it Bo Levi? Is it Mitchell? Anyway, Mitchell at quarterback, Roundtree at halfback, another Mitchell at wide receiver, Smith, Tarowski, Gittins, and Wheatfall are the chief receivers, Legia, Wooden. And then on the flip side, we have Montreal, who's absolutely the best offense in the league. Alexander at quarterback, Theus at halfback, Holland, Sneed, Speaker, Stearns, and Philpott, Maltos, Brooks doing the return duties at Percival, Molson Field. Hamilton is 2-4. Montreal is 5-1. Best offense in the league. Hamilton is 2-4. Solid football team. Unfortunately, Montreal has plus 25% scoring against this defense. And this is not going to be enough cards for plus 25%. Montreal is able to score 50 points in this game. So let's get these cards ready to go for our highlights. If Montreal does not score 40 plus points in this game, I will be shocked. So the Ticats can look to probably just try to hang in there against this brilliant Montreal offense. Hamilton has a plus 5% scoring to this. So plus 25% by itself should easily win this game for Montreal. All right, here we go. Hamilton on the road. What do? 13 plus 1, 14. They score a touchdown, baby. 57-yard return. And that would be, on the card it says intercepted. So we're going to assume at some point they picked off Alexander, took it back to the house for a touchdown. 57-yard return by Hamilton Ticat defense. Montreal +5, 20. They're going to score 10. Oh, okay, I said they would score 40. Well, they got 10 of it right there. It's a 7-yard pass to Sneed and a field goal of 41 yards. And Montreal's fans breathe a sigh of relief after that interception, pick 6. All right, Hamilton, can they keep scoring? 21. Oh, no. Hamilton came to win. 10 points. Hamilton gets a 7-yard run by the quarterback and a 92-yard kick return for a touchdown. Excuse me. Sorry. They get a quarterback 7-yard run and a field goal of 40. Hamilton 17, Montreal 10. Can they hold down Montreal's offense? I mean, the key here is, can they stop Montreal? 7 + 5 is 12. It's a field goal. Oh my God, folks, we got us a game. 33-yard field goal by Maltos. The Hamilton Ticats race into the locker room for the halftime break. Coach Milanovic, big smile on his face as they have come ready. They've scored 17 first-half points, but more importantly, they have held Alexander and company in check, 13 points. All right, here we go. Tiger Cats come out of the locker room after halftime. Oh, and they're going to get shut out. Punts. So they basically can't convert any third downs, or they have to punt on third downs. It's going to be 14 + 5, 19 touchdown. It's a 24-yard run for Theus. And that makes it 20-17 going into the fourth quarter. Folks, it turns out the game of the week is going to be Hamilton and Montreal. And because they just scored, we're going to go with Montreal, and we're going to put the drama on Hamilton. Montreal, what do? 10 + 5 is a touchdown. Quarterback, 12-yard run. Alexander scampers into the end zone. Last but not least, Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's 17. Let's see here. 14, 24, 27-17. The Ticats need a 19 or a 20 to tie the game. Oh, it rolled off the 15. 7-1 is a shutout. They get shut out in the second half, folks. Punts. Their offense completely stymied. Scott Milanovic is going to be madder than hell. He goes in praising his team with smiles on his face, telling them that's the way you do it. And then they come out. Montreal's defense lays wood, and this offense cannot score a single point after halftime. And Scott Milanovic is saying to his club as they're boarding the airplane or the bus, whatever the hell they do up there in Canada to get from place to place. Maybe they take a train, I'm a kid. Milanovic asking his team, where's this Jekyll and Hyde shit coming from? Wow, 17-27, 2-5 Hamilton, 6-1 Montreal. Folks, the CFL 2026 Week 8 well underway with pen and paper football. I love this game. I love the CFL, and I'm loving this project. I don't want to fall behind, though. I thought this week I might fall behind. I was so busy working on my new CCD football game and play testing so much of that and trying to get the refined before I released it. So, good news is Saskatchewan at home knocks off Edmonton. Again, Saskatchewan and Calgary are probably my two favorite CFL teams. So Saskatchewan brings Edmonton down a notch. Calgary finds a way to win over Winnipeg. Toronto gets blasted by the BC Lions, 43-16, baby. And, of course, the Montreal Alouettes are held down. I thought 40 easy for these guys with a plus 25% scoring range. And I got to give Hamilton credit. Scott Milanovic can't be too angry. They hold down Montreal to 27. But the fact that their offense decided to check out after halftime has got to make him angry. All right, folks. Also, a heads up, for those who don't know, I'm going to get back, of course, to Gridiron and Coffee tomorrow morning. So I'll be playing the next game in Gridiron. But for those who don't know, we are working on and should have available, hopefully in the next week or so, Dell is wrapping up the Canadian version of Gridiron Dice and Drive. So we're actually going to have Gridiron Canadian. It'll have its own cover. It has its own write-up. I don't know if he's changing art or anything. There will be, obviously, key changes to the rules for the Canadian game, especially punts. Punts now will be a lot more exciting in the Canadian version of this. So we made a concerted effort to create a special punt return chart for the Canadian game. And weather. We're doing the weather, obviously weather up there in the summertime, summertime Canada. The weather will be slightly different. But anyway, and we're only going to have one scoring chart. I don't believe there'll be an early scoring chart, but there might be. There might be an early scoring matrix. I don't know if Dell's going to leave in an early matrix. But we will have a Gridiron Dice and Drives Canadian football. And I'm hoping that'll be done in the next week or two. And that'll be incredibly good. I do. When I say this, I'm not joking. When Dell first sent me this months ago, and I was reading it and playtesting it, I loved it. Instantly fell in love with that version 5.6 or 6.1 or whatever it was, 6.6. Loved it. And was so inspired that I created a league for it, and I did the write-up for it and said, here, dude, here's a league, here's teams, here's a write-up if you want to use it for your game. And the rest is history. I truly do love this game, and I cannot wait to play the Canadian version. So, bottom line is, it won't be long before this is dominating my tabletop for my fast play football. I mean, I'm already, I would have been playing it, but I had this game I just needed to finish, and I did. And so you can count on next year's CFL project 2027. I'm going to create the modern teams in Gridiron Canadian, and I'll play along with the season next year with the Gridiron Canadian game. And I'll just I'll handcraft those Canadian teams like I do these based on what I see in preseason and what my projections are. Again, I don't know Canadian ball as well as most people out there who are Canadian fans, but I enjoy this project. This is one of the only real life projects I ever do. I don't ever simulate the NFL play along. I never replay seasons that just happened. I'm just not a guy to say I'm going to replay 2025 NFL or nothing. So one of the things I look forward to every year for my CFL projects is actually playing along, or at least playing the playoffs or something. If I don't have time to play the season, I'll try to play the playoffs or the Grey Cup or whatever. So, all right, everybody, have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.